Man, nobody got on you when you went away to Italy. Nobody said a damn thing.
That was to play ball, Ro. I love ball.
So, I love Lisa.
Then why are we sitting here not at the wedding, Ro? Y'all perfect for each other, I'm saying, because you're both nuts.
What? Bring their ass up here.
Man, I just want some Tic Tacs, man.
Tic Tac for ass. Get in the front. Man, them little motherfuckers, they ain't nothing. Man, they go to school with my sister. Stacy? They gotta say my name, homie. I don't you fuck with me. What, y'all want some of me? Man, yeah. What? I guess so. No, man. This is my fight. Okay. Hey, but was it working? Yeah. Let's do this one for the wood.
Oh, it's on.
Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the WayBack Movies Podcast, a show where we review the best and not so best of 80s and 90s cinema, because really, fuck the 2000s. My name is Steve, and with me on this crazy journey,
Justin.
Doctor.
And
we're back, covering a movie it seems only I remember.
Yeah.
Judging by what's going on here. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I scoured the internet. No one pays any attention to this movie. It doesn't exist. It's been stricken from the record for whatever reason. But yeah, I was able to, unlike what I said last week, I was able to find some notes for it. So it probably will be a little longer than expected, but don't expect this to be much of a long episode. But with that being said, let's go all the way back to July 16th, 1999 for The Wood. Okay, here we are. It's 1999. I'm 17. I'm still in high school.
Are you watching this movie?
No, I stumbled onto this movie on cable.
Okay.
Yeah, on TMN it popped up, and I kind of started watching it one day and kind of kept going because I was like, wow, this is interesting. Not quite sure how, based on the intro, the whole, them at the wedding and stuff like that.
Well, listen, this is not your action-packed,
No.
feature that we usually do on this show, but this is probably out of the 69 episodes. This is probably the calmest movie we've done.
I think so.
Most, just simple.
Yeah, it's just
story. Just this movie's just about three guys reminiscing about their life.
It's just a little bit of a
like a slice of life movie?
Yeah, kind of.
In a way.
It's not overly complicated. It's not overly anything. It's just kind of
there's no
fun little
bad guys. There's no good guys.
It's just a fun little movie that just sort of comes in and doesn't overstay its welcome and leaves.
Slight conflict, but not really.
Yeah, conflict isn't really all that strong. But we'll get to that. So, like I said, The Wood, July 16th, 1999. Directed by Rick Famuyiwa. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to say it wrong every damn time.
Yep.
Written by Rick Famuyiwa? Maybe? France?
I'm not trying.
I have no idea. I cannot pronounce it. I apologize, sir. I like your movie, but I cannot pronounce your name. Produced by, and you can tell this is an independent picture, produced by Albert Berger, David Gale, Douglas Curtis, Mamita Sangupta, Ron Yerkza, Todd Boyd, and Von Troffler. So, lots of producers. I'm guessing they took up half the budget. Production company MTV Productions, distributed by Paramount Pictures. Box office of $25.1 million against a budget of $6 million. So it was profitable.
They made a simple movie for a simple budget and made money.
Yeah.
So
aces.
That's literally the goal for most studios.
Yeah.
Let's just make small pictures with no money, and then we'll make
at
least
least
double the profit, sometimes 3 times.
And that's basically the dream. So, I don't think anyone was unhappy with this. So the cast, Omar Epps is Michael Mike Tarver, Sean Nelson is young Mike, Richard T. Jones as Lavinio Slim Hightower. Lavinio. That's a fucking name, I'll tell you. Dwayne Finley is young Slim. Tay Diggs is Roland Blackman. Trent Cameron is young Roland. Sana Lathan is Alicia, and Melinda Williams is young Alicia. Lisa Ray McCoy is Lisa, and DeAndre Bonds is Stacy, and Antoine Tanner's Boo.
Not a big cast.
Not a big cast at all. I pretty much named everyone who speaks in it except for, like, maybe one of the moms.
Yeah, the moms aren't in the credits.
Only one mom speaks in the wedding scene at all, even though all of them are shown. Only one speaks. It's kind of weird. So the production of this film. The film is based on writer-director, I'm just going to go with Rick, vivid memories of growing up in his middle-class African-American neighborhood of Inglewood, California with his friends. He originated the story idea several years ago when a friend of his announced he was getting married, and he and Rick found themselves reminiscing for hours about the good old days. Says Rick, 2 hours later, we were still talking. You can't help but look back when you reach milestones in your life. The conversation started, the wheels turning in my head about how these moments of recollection and sentimentality would be a good subject for a film. Rick attended USC when he was a liberal arts major with a concentration in political science and pre-law before switching to USC's School of Cinema Television to major in film. His interest in filmmaking was seeing Oliver Stone's epic JFK. Saying, when I saw JFK, I realized what a major impact films can have on people, and I wanted to do that in my own films. In 1995, during his senior year at USC, Rick wrote and directed his critically acclaimed thesis film, Backtop Lingo, a 12-minute short film about basketball. In 1996, the film was one of only 29 films selected of the 1,500 submissions to be screened at the Sundance Film Festival, and earned Rick the distinction of becoming the first undergraduate from USC to ever have a film shown there. After graduating, Rick teamed with his former USC Film School professor Todd Boyd and worked on the story for The Wood. He submitted the screenplay to the Sundance Institute's Screenwriters Directors Lab, which helps independent filmmakers develop features and line up financing. He attended the lab in the summer of 1997. At that time, he was working at the Beverly Hills Night Town, selling sneakers by day and writing his screenplays at night. His screenplay for The Wood attracted the interest of producers Albert Berger and Ron Yerxa of Bonafide Productions, who attended a script reading at LA's Jazz Bakery. They brought the screenplay. I want
to go to a thing called the Jazz Bakery.
Me too. Do they bake jazz, or do they play jazz and serve you baked goods?
Wait, what was the first one? Do they
bake jazz? Is it a play on words of like, we're baking up jazz here, you know?
But, like they play jazz, but they're calling it baking?
Yeah, they're baking it up. They're baking up some jazz for you. You know?
I don't know.
It's like in basketball, you know, they're like, feed me the rock. They're not forced throwing the food down your throat. You know what I mean? It's a play on words.
We bake up the jazz here.
Baking up some jazz. Come on now.
Why not?
Yeah. All right.
I think we just created something.
I think so. Copyright us. We got that. We're gonna open up a jazz bakery.
Yeah, the whitest guys you've ever goddamn seen in your life are gonna open up a jazz bakery,
and that's why it'll be successful.
Well, it worked for Ryan. What was his name? God, La La Land. God damn it.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, there you go.
You can tell how much I thought about that
saved
movie.
By that guy.
Yeah. God, that movie was terrible. Why the fuck did people like that movie? Jesus Christ. They brought the screenplay to MTV Films and later Paramount Pictures. David Gale, Senior Vice President of MTV Films, said, "One of our goals has been to open up opportunities to new filmmakers with a strong vision and a broad range of experiences. From reading Rick's screenplay, I could see he had an interesting background and the ability to tell a universal story." Now we're getting to the bottom of the barrel already. Melinda Williams.
Scraping.
Yeah. Melinda Williams, who played the younger Alicia, is actually 1 year older than Sanaa Lathan, who played Alicia as an adult.
Jesus.
Or older, I should say, yeah. So, yeah. The younger one is actually, the one who played the younger is actually older than the adult version. They were all very old.
Yeah. We are in high school, yes, with your beard.
With your 25-year-old self, sure. Yeah. It's the Beverly Hills 90210 way of showing, like, oh yeah, we're in fucking junior high. The opening Steadicam shot took almost an entire day to shoot. Well, that's Steadicams for you.
Yeah.
The Wood was almost entirely shot on location over several week period in Inglewood, California, at locations Rick actually frequented as a kid, including the AA Mart and the La Tijera Elementary School, the latter where much of the filming took place. One of the production designer Rick Fortune's biggest challenges was illustrating the three periods of time in the film: the mid-'80s junior high school days, the late '80s high school period, and present day. stating, because Inglewood doesn't look very different than it did 15 years ago in terms of its architecture, we relied on cars, clothes, hairstyles, and music, all of which have changed greatly to show the differences. Researching Rick's old yearbooks, family photo albums, magazines, and movies, Fortune came up with a look for the film. Rick's ambition was to make a film look as realistic as possible, continues Fortune. I think he actually kind of succeeded.
Yeah.
Looked pretty 80s to me.
Yep.
Costume designer Daryl Johnson says, Rick remembered the 80s explicitly. Spandex, Adidas sneakers, and flat top haircut. Fuchsia, red leather, and headbands. These things were definitely part of the 80s. Yeah, no shit. Music and clothes bring back sense memories. We remember things as if they happened yesterday because of our senses, continues Johnson saying. When Rick was able to walk onto sets and feel like he was back in high school, we knew we had done our jobs. Filming in Inglewood gave Rick a new perspective on his boyhood home and an even deeper appreciation of neighborhood ties. It was kind of weird because it was shot at the school and the convenience store right around the corner from where I grew up, he says. Between takes, it would hit me that I was back home, but looking at it with a much different eye. People came up to me who I remember from back when I was a kid running around with my friends. It was a great experience. In a recent visit to USC, his alma mater, Rick revealed that Paramount executives wanted the character of Mike to pinch Alicia's buttocks at the end scene for added laughs. Needless to say, he balked at this suggestion. It was never shot. Although it would have been kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, it is what it is. So the legacy of this film, if it even has one. The film's critical consensus is a charming piece of work with believable characters.
I love that, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Period, end of discussion.
Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying, The Wood is a sweet, light-hearted comedy about 3 friends who stick together from high school until a wedding day, and calling the flashback scenes to the 80s the real heart of the movie. So much so
He's not wrong.
that he criticized the 90s structure, calling it unnecessary. But of course, he understands you needed stars to sell the picture. I kind of agree with him.
Oh, so, like, he's basically saying, like, you should have just made this movie
made it an 80s
about
movie.
3 kids
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah, you shouldn't have bothered.
You don't
with
need those don't need to be a flashback.
Yeah.
That's just
you
the
didn't
movie.
need the adult part, and I kind of agree with him because honestly, whenever they cut back to the adult stuff, I don't care. To be fair,
yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
There's not
I do like them, but yeah, you're right. Like it's so heavily focused on the '80s stuff that when they cut to the '90s stuff, it's kind of like, all right, well, we're back here now.
Yeah.
It was nominated for several Black Reel Awards and an the NAACP Award for Outstanding Motion Picture, losing to The Best Man, which is a goddamn travesty, because The Best Man is not a great movie. I know some people think otherwise, but
Well, that
I don't
was
care.
my, like, when you brought this movie up to me last year, because
Yeah.
we were going to do this last year for
Yeah.
Black History Month. That's kind of my only, like, way into because the way you were describing, like, oh, that sounds like The Best Man.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason is a lot, and I think that's part of the reason why nobody remembers this movie, because it came out at the same year, and everyone remembers The Best Man, and I don't like The Best Man nearly as much as I like this. I thought The Best Man was just okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's got bigger stars in it, correct? That's probably why, right? So you get bigger stars. Best
Yeah.
Man doesn't have the 80s stuff. There's
No.
no flashback stuff. It's
No.
literally just them as adults living their life, doing their thing, right?
And, you know, I also think that the comedy in this is a little stronger than The Best Man.
Well, you also like it because of the 80s stuff. Because
That
you're a
helps.
sucker for, like, a coming-of-age
Always.
story.
Always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
I don't know what it is, but a coming-of-age story, I'm like, I'm in. I don't care what it is. Most of the time, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The film was released on DVD and VHS on January 18th, 2000. I'm guessing there probably isn't a Blu-ray. I couldn't find one.
No, there isn't.
A soundtrack was released on July 13th, 1999 by Jive Records, featuring rap and R&B music, finding success, peaking at number 16 on the Billboard 2000 and number 2 on the top R&B hip-hop albums. And it was certified gold by the RIAA on August 25th, 1999. So, the soundtrack did well. I don't know.
Like, the movie did well, too.
The movie did fine,
But that's it.
But it's forgotten.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here to talk about it, because somebody needs to remember this
it'll
damn
live
thing.
on in infamy through us.
Yes.
So we start with them as adults. Mike, Slim, and Ro.
Yeah.
Roland, they call him Ro.
Row.
But they can't find Ro. He's the one getting married and they can't find him.
Yeah. And a weird point that only happens like
Once.
twice.
Twice?
It does happen
Okay.
twice. Mike just starts talking to the camera.
Yeah.
And I guess we're a guest at the wedding. Because he's sitting there talking to us, and in one of the funnier things that he says in the very beginning, he's just like, like, you know, we can't find Ro, and then Slim will pop up every now and then with things like this. Where the fuck is it? And I'm like,